Hello everyone, welcome to the first episode, and hopefully not the only episode, of what we're going to call the Game Informer Breakdown. The reason that we're calling it that is because we're using my personal Game Informers that I get each month to make these videos. A lot of people have Game Informers, like my brother for example, or a few of my friends, and they don't even read them. They literally flip through the pages and just look at the pictures and maybe check out some of the gaming reviews and read the good, the bad, and ugly, because they're short. But when it comes down to the nit-grit of reading paragraphs written by people who obviously make a living off doing this, they just don't do it. I do though. I love this topic. I love video games in general, and that's why I'm doing this. So let's start with the first thing that I found interesting, which was Xbox versus PlayStation, which involves all the specs and the overall comparison. This entire thing was written by Matthew Cato, and we're going to put some of the specs on screen pretty much overall of everything. I think most people usually focus on the graphics at first. Myself being one of those people, at least in the past. I know I've argued with many people over PlayStation being better than Xbox, but ultimately it boils down to exclusives. The hardware is just too similar to argue and have a competition over. I mean, you can't even see the differences with a naked eye unless you have an exact side-by-side comparison. But you can tell the difference with exclusives. For example, Uncharted, Sly Cooper, God of War. What does Xbox have? Halo and Gears of War and Forza. Halo died after Halo 2. No one really likes Gears of War, and I don't know anyone who plays Forza. So, I mean, I don't know why you'd want an Xbox. But if you're really into those exclusives, I guess Sunset Overdrive's another one. But it's just, to have one or two good titles just isn't enough for me to choose Xbox.
I mean, maybe it could also be the controllers. The controllers are a little different.
That's a good point. A lot of people, but you know what though? Overall, you're going to eventually adapt. Pick your system off the exclusives. Do you like Sly Cooper? Do you like Uncharted? Do you like God of War? Or do you like Gears of War?
Or Halo.
Anxiety and Simulation Games, which was written by Kimberly Wallace. She said during the COVID crisis, her anxiety has been higher than normal, when she started playing simulation games, I think 2 Point Hospital in particular, which made her have a sense of control and kind of, suppress the anxiety feeling, which made sense to me. That's why I found it interesting. But then you had a very similar...
It's actually funny, because when we were at a kava bar, Eric decided to leave me for a phone call, and I get a lot of anxiety when I'm in crowded areas or with a lot of people. I actually popped up my Sims because I'm like, what can I possibly do to get my mind somewhere else? So I put Sims on, and it actually helped me because it made me focus more in that world than the world around me, so it kind of helped me.
Unless, a crazy person came in and was going to steal all her stuff, and she wasn't paying attention to the real world, and she was just overpaid.
You know what I mean. So annoying.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting. We realized that after the fact, like, holy shit, it's actually kind of true. You literally just did it.
Yeah, because I actually resulted to it.
Daniel Tack wrote a piece about monetization in video games, which he titled "The Battle Pass is the New Loot Box," which I love that title because everyone can relate to the Battle Pass, because just about everyone plays Call of Duty Modern Warfare. Back in the day, a complete finished game cost $60. $5 extra if you wanted to pre-order it. Now, you get a half-assed completed game that's getting updates every 3 months because they want to add more shit to it that you have to pay for like $10 to $15 depending on whatever. It's ridiculous. I can't stand it. But it started with loot boxes. And the only game that I can think of that had loot boxes like that people really went hard on is Fortnite. I don't know why that reminded me of it, but it's Fortnite, which I don't like and didn't really play. But loot boxes, man, people are going crazy over loot boxes. It's like being in a casino and hitting the slot machine. People just dump their money into it and don't even realize how much they're spending. But now with Modern Warfare, you have the Battle Pass, which I'm not going to lie, I bought. Like 4 days ago. We started playing a lot more Call of Duty, and I just gave in and I bought it because I'm enjoying the game a lot. But it sucks that I'm now a part of this system of spending extra money on it, on something that I think should already be in the fucking game.
Yeah, especially with all those updates that take like so much space.
Oh my god, the amount of space. You know how many freaking games I had to put a gun to its head because I didn't have the space for freaking the new Modern Warfare update? Which reminds me, I forgot to say, when we talked about Xbox versus PlayStation, That's something that really needs to be addressed with the new consoles is the hard drive.
Okay.
The team that makes these systems need to upgrade the hard drive because these games are getting bigger and bigger and bigger, especially Call of Duties. Even World War II is over 100 gigabytes. I mean, that's if you have 4 major titles like Call of Duty, you can't even have all 4 of those, especially with the updates you keep putting on them. It's hard drive overload. There's no memory. The good. Control developer Remedy Entertainment has signed a deal with Epic Games, who will publish 2 titles from the Finnish studio. I don't even know what the Finnish studio is. The first game is a AAA multi-platform title that's already in production, and the second is a smaller project set in the universe of the first title. Both will come out on next-gen platforms and PC in the next few years. I don't know how that's good, but I guess you had to put something in that bracket. The bad. The Last of Us Part 2 has been delayed again, this time due to logistical issues caused by the COVID-19 global pandemic. Developer Naughty Dog, who made Uncharted, which is a fantastic series, says the game is finished, but as of the time of writing this writing, that was kind of confusing, it is holding back the game's release to make sure everyone gets to play the game around the same time. Now, as of right now, The Last of Us 2 has been out for a while, and I've seen nothing but mixed reviews on it. Some people love it, some people hate it, some people think the main character's too damn big. Alright, the ugly. This year's QuakeCon has been canceled, also due to COVID-19. It was to be the convention's 25th anniversary showcasing id Software and Bethesda games, but the virus has created such uncertainty that even postponement wasn't deemed possible. I couldn't read that word. That's the good, the bad, and the ugly. That's something that I think just needs to be in every episode that we do of these Game Informers because it's always been there. There's one issue, and I used to collect my Game Informers, but people made me throw them out. If anyone has it, I'd love to see a picture of it or something. There was an issue many years ago that had a prediction of how many PlayStations were coming out and what they looked like. I don't know what it was. I don't even know what year it came out in, but I know it was over 10 years ago. If you know it or if you have it, please show me it because I would love to see that. That'd be really, really cool nostalgia. The next thing, this game looks interesting. So the title is Stuck at Home, but I think it's called Grounded. This is written by Jeff Cork. This is, as with every Game Informer, they have this one game they talk about is a very long piece. It's like 6 to 7 pages, and it pretty much explains what this person experienced the entire time they were playing the game. It's very vivid. It's very descriptive. From what I read, it takes place in the 90s, which is a guesstimation from a juice box that you find in the backyard when you start off that has an expiration date on it. And you could be one of 4 characters, which are children, and their names are Max, Pete, Willow, and Hoops. This actually looks fun. I'm excited to play this with a group of people. I think that we would have a lot of fun. Just because of the different concept that you're miniaturized in a backyard and like you have to deal with ants and spiders and probably grasshoppers, whatever, and just working together to get big again. I think that's the ultimate goal of this game is to bigify yourself again. Is that a word? Bigify?
I don't think so.
Anyways, maybe it's interesting to me because I grew up in the 90s when those movies were really popular with Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. Mm-hmm. So maybe we'll play it on PC a little bit, but it's only for Xbox.
Only Xbox and PC.
Sorry, PlayStation. No Grounded for you. One interesting thing about this game, people had a problem with the spider, like arachnophobia. So there's actually an arachnophobia mode now. But it's just interesting that people were so frightened of the spider that they had to remove it. It must look extremely realistic, or I think what they said was the movement and sound of it was realistic. The sound, though, I might be getting that mixed up. How do you hear a spider, you know?
The way it, like, walks, I guess?
Do you hear a spider walk? What the hell spiders are you watching? I've never heard a spider.
Well, they probably made it like that.
Future prospects. 60 games we can't wait to play. Now, obviously, we're not going to go over every game. The Elder Scrolls 6. Everyone who plays Elder Scrolls is excited for this for obvious reasons. The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild sequel is... I can't wait for that. I love Breath of the Wild. Who doesn't? Diablo 4. I do want to talk about this one. Just a little bit. Un poquito. Diablo 4. Another series that I did not get into from the beginning. And Diablo 3, to be honest, is the first game I played, and it's pretty repetitious. there's a lot of grind. I mean, there's grinding in general with Diablo, I think, but it got really repetitious at some points. Diablo 4, maybe I'm just being a sucker and I'm hoping things are going to be a little different like I was with ESO, because to be honest, I haven't read too much into it. I've just watched a couple videos online, but I'm really excited for it. It looks really dark. The characters look really awesome. I'm excited for Dying Light 2 because we're currently playing Dying Light 1 and it's so grainy and there's just some problems with the audio that it's just a little too out of date for me to invest or to get invested into. But I know Dying Light 2 will be absolutely great.
How are you?
Dying Light 2 it looks really good. And I know it's going to be better than Dying Light 1 because it's up to date.
Yeah, well, I was gonna make a comment because you said something about the audio. You freaking love, BioShock, and you can barely hear the audio on the tapes.
You make a good point. The audio diaries are very hard to hear. I mean, you can manipulate it in the settings a bit.
Yeah, but it's still awful.
But to be frank, I played BioShock at a young age. I didn't even want it, but that's a whole nother story. But I beat it like 4 times before I actually went through and learned the audio diaries. Man-Eater. Did you see this?
The sharks.
Yeah, you are a shark. You are a shark, and your goal is to eat people and to just create mischief in the world. To be honest, I only read this description and I looked up like one gameplay video or trailer on YouTube, but it's interesting. I would play it. I would definitely try that out. Reviews. Gaming reviews. This is the last part of the segment and the last thing that you'll see in every Game Informer that exists. The first game, Doom Eternal. We have a video on this game.
Check out the link below.
Yeah, check that out. It's one video because I don't know why. We just never went back to it. But we have a lot going on.
No, we have 2 videos.
Do we?
Yeah, we have a part 2 to our first video.
Anyways, Doom Eternal got rated a 9.25. I loved this game, even though I haven't beaten it yet. But I have a biased opinion because I played the originals first, and biased opinion, I think the originals are better. I think it'd be cool if they did just a strict remaster of the originals, but with like super hardened, like awesome graphics. I wish they'd still keep the shooting mechanics of it, where if someone's up there, you still just shoot straight and it hits them. I wish they would just do it like that all over again, but with, like I said, awesome graphics. Mm-hmm. I love Doom. I freaking love Doom.
Pretty much the same graphics they have for this new one. Just make the gameplay different.
Kind of, yeah. Like the monsters, how they're doing the monsters. Like keep the monsters that way and the way they're moving and everything. Just keep the game the same. Even the levels, like the way you move, that you could strafe super fast, and there's still no jumping. I mean, if you want to add jumping, okay, I guess you can make that work. But just the original way. Just take the same levels, the same layout, everything. Just revamp it. But Resident Evil 3, I do want to start playing the Resident Evils. We had a lot of fun with the second one. It's a lot better than I was envisioning. I have never been one for zombie games or anything. That's why I'm just now playing Dying Light for the first time.
I love zombie games, and that's why he's playing it.
That's true. That is very true. I never played Round Guard, and from the looks of it, I would never play Round Guard, but there's that, and that got rated an 8. Bleeding Edge, another game I've never played, but it looks pretty okay, and it's obviously not. For one, it's an Xbox and PC only, and it's a 6.75. That is a major diss. Call of Duty Warzone. Why not Call of Duty Modern Warfare? I don't know, but just focusing on the Warzone, it got an 8.75. Not gonna lie, I'm starting to enjoy Warzone now that, like, when you and I play with the boys. Mm-hmm. I'm actually enjoying it. I like the teamwork, and it's a lot of fun. Before, I was playing it solo, and I hated that.
Well, yeah, because then you can't talk to anyone and be like, yo, get me out of jail, or the gulag, or whatever.
Get me out of jail.
Whatever, Jail. I'm thinking of, like, Monopoly, but, yeah.
The next game, Final Fantasy VII Remake. It's pretty cool. I played the demo. I think it's really dope, but personally I've never been into Final Fantasy. That's more my brother's realm. No one plays MLB. Sorry. People obviously do, but I can't play sports games. I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't like it.
Persona 5. I've never played Persona, but I hear so many good things about it. However, that's the end of issue 325 of Game Informer. This has been the Game Informer Breakdown. By the way, because I didn't put this in the beginning, I'm Eric, a.k.a. Parchy Poo.
And I'm Norma, a.k.a. /Yo Mama.
Maybe we'll edit this and put it in the beginning. I don't know. But the fact of the matter is we forgot to put it in the beginning, so it's our outro. But this has been the Game Informer Breakdown. We will see you in the next episode, which will be on issue 326. Hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, subscribe, or don't. I don't really care. The content's good. Just check it out. Have a good day, guys.
Catch you in the flip side.